Hey guys, Demolish134 here, and today we have the Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron / War for Cybertron Skywarp. Now Skywarp is the exact same mold as Starscream and Thundercracker. There are no mold changes whatsoever. A few little QC issues though, but I'll get to that in a minute. Overall the colour scheme is actually pretty good, although I don't like the use of the grey. I just think there's a little bit too much of it, and I think there should have been a little bit more black and purple. In fact, maybe not so much the purple, but more black I would say. But the grey, it's not too bad, it's just, you know... I suppose it'll grow on me, but, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the grey at the moment. It does have Decepticon symbols on the wings there, which look very, very cool. It's got the removable guns, which you can just take off if you don't like them and put them off to the side. I think it completes the look of the jet. You can peg them together and form the Neutron Assault Rifle from Fall of Cybertron. So I'll put them off to the side. No landing gear whatsoever, which, you know, makes sense. He's a Cybertronian jet. They don't really need to land. They can just transform. But there we go. Now, just so you can see them all together, here he is with his Seeker brethren. This is actually the first set of Seekers that I have ever completed. I never managed to complete the classic Seekers, so I'm really excited to actually have all the three main Seekers here, because I've always wanted to do it, but the classic Seekers are so expensive now. I mean, even just to grab a Universe Starscream, it is just incredibly expensive. I mean, I refuse to pay in excess of £25 for a Deluxe. That's sort of my little policy. And to get a Universe Skywarp, you're looking at £40 on eBay. For a Skywarp, it's even more for the classics and the Thundercracker. Thundercracker is a little bit easier to get in the classics line because he's a Generations figure. So there's that. But this is the first actual Seeker collection that I've managed to complete, and I'm very, very proud of it. Now we are going to jump right into the transformation, since I have reviewed this figure twice before, so if you want to see more in-depth detailing of the mould, check out my Thundercracker and my Starscream review. So to transform this guy, what we're going to do is we're going to unpeg the legs from the back here, just swing these out, take this teeny little nose cone here, just fold that up, and then you can fold up the chest piece here, flip out his little fetums here, and then just kind of bend his legs a little bit. Then what we're going to do, come round to this piece here, we're going to push in these two pieces like that and just push out the arms like so, bend this piece back, flip up the head here and just rotate it around and lift up this piece, then we're just going to sort of angle it up, then angle it back down again and get the arms out of the way, of course, otherwise it's not going to go in. Then basically just peg that into his little butthole there, flip these pieces up, and they're kind of stiff on mine, don't know what's up with that. Rotate the arms around, just like so. Sorry if that went out of frame just there. And there is Skywarp in his robot mode. I've probably said this a million times before, but I'm going to say it again. I love the Fall of Cybertron Seeker designs. They look amazing, and honestly, Skywarp probably has one of the coolest looking robot modes, purely because of the colours. I love the use of the pinky purple. The grey doesn't look too bad in the robot mode, but the black definitely does look cool. Take the guns, and obviously, as you could before, you can peg them into his hands. You can also take them apart and have him dual wield if you so wish. If I could actually get it in there properly. Yeah, no mold changes, but honestly, the coloration of this guy just makes him look so much cooler. Now here are all three Seekers in their robot modes, and they look fantastic. It's such an accomplishment to have all three Seekers. I just really wish I could get the classics versions, but they're so damn expensive. But these guys will make do. They are really nice updates to the G1 characters, and they just look great. If you ask me who was my favourite though, I would say Thundercracker, because I'm a sucker for that blue colour, and Thundercracker doesn't use all that grey. Closely followed by Skywarp, because I just love the purple and black, and then Starscream because, you know, it looks a little bit dull when compared to the other two. I don't like the grey plastic used on Starscream, and honestly the reds and the blues, they really don't look very vibrant compared to Thundercracker and Skywarp. Articulation is exactly the same. The head can rotate 360 degrees, really due to the transformation. He's got a joint up here at the shoulder, can bend up and down, rotate at the lower shoulder here, bend at the elbow in two different places, and the hand can rotate a full 360 degrees. No waist articulation. We have a thigh joint up here, bend at the hip, bend at the knee, and the feet do pivot left and right, and his little foot here can move up and down. So articulation isn't fantastic, but you can still get him in some pretty dynamic looking poses. Now unfortunately, The biggest flaw of this figure is the head sculpt. Now, on the previous versions of the mould, I had absolutely no problem with it. It's just the way that they've painted it in this one. It just doesn't really pop as well. And you'll see why. They've used a different sort of paint on the head sculpt for Skywarp, so it's not sort of the metallic one that they used on Thundercracker, for example. And with Thundercracker, you could see a lot more of the detail in his head sculpt, and it just sort of, it popped a little bit more, and you could see the light piping a lot better as well. But with Skywarp, the detail isn't really as defined, and I don't particularly like the colour of the paint they used. Overall, Skywarp is an excellent addition to your Generations collection, and I really do highly recommend him. Now, the Fall of Cybertron Seekers are the most readily available at the moment. The Classics ones are incredibly expensive, and the good thing about these guys is that these were released fairly recently. Starscream was only released last year, as was Thundercracker. So you really want to try and pick these guys up whilst they are released, and you can find them on shelves, because I imagine in a few years these guys are going to disappear. So definitely get them now. It's such a good feeling to have all three Seekers, and I am very happy with him. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.